Hey everyone, today we are going to see what is inside these culvert pipes. Might be pretty interesting. They're almost completely dried up, nothing really going through them. We're gonna see if there's anything interesting in here. Not much water. Which one should we take? It smells gross, like the ocean at low tide. Oh, it smells really nasty. And that's really slippery. They all stink. You can see how the barn swallow nest that used to be on here. I'm guessing people broke them off for fun. I hear water trickling in this one. All right, gonna grab my headlamp. It's so gross in here. Floor is so slippery. It smells like rotting plant material. Good amount of water here too. A low spot in the culvert pipe. Ooh, look at that hole. I bet that's coming from a storm drain up above. This is creepy. Is this the end of it? Probably. It probably went in, took a 90 degree, or not a 90 degree, a 45, and this is another 45 into the drainage ditch on the other side of the road. I'm hoping, at least. It is kind of scary in here. Monsters? Thankfully, no. Alright, and we're out. Very wet. I think this was the exciting choice. Taking the wet tunnel. Yeah, it is gross smelling in here. Really nasty. Like, what I would describe it to, and maybe not many people might know the smell, you empty out aquarium gravel, throw it in a bucket, but it's remaining wet for a long time. Then you dig it up and you smell it all rotting. There's another scary pipe with spider webs. Oh wow, I can see daylight down there from a storm drain. And what's this? Oncoming water? It's one big grate. Yeah. I have never seen so many raccoons dead on the side of the road before I came to this state, which is Wyoming. There's no real culvert problems. It's so hard to find one. That scared me, that thing there. I don't know why. It's impossible to find any culvert problems around here. Great maintenance, and most of the year is pretty dry. Yeah, you see water gets deep in here sometimes. That's all debris stuck around that pipe. All right, we are about to leave. Headlamp off, walking through some very sticky mud, and this is probably what stinks. There's a draft sucking here and blowing out where I started, and that's why it was so cold and why it smelled so bad. It's actually pretty warm here now compared to when I came in. Look at all those dirty spider webs. It's pretty dusty around here on the dirt roads, and I bet this is sucking it in, accumulating over time. But that is an insane amount of spider webs, if you can see that. Huge amount of them. And some of them are pretty low hanging. This mud is actually satisfying to walk in, but it's full of all kinds of rotten debris. And it's creating gases, which really stink, and they're getting sucked through the pipe. There's considerably more water coming out than the entrance from those couple of dripping pipes we saw. More barn swallow nests. It definitely looks like this is a place where all the local kids hang out in this area. This is pretty cool how it's designed. Most of the year it looks like it trickles, stays here inside the concrete ditch, but for those times of high flow, it's got this massive ditch here. And based on the debris evidence, it fills up sometimes. Pretty awesome. What tunnel should I take back? Middle or this side? Let's go for the far side. I feel like that's the best chance of having incoming pipes. Oh, really stinky in here. This one's even more sticky. More gases in this one. Look at that water, it's gray, like the color of sewage. I wouldn't be surprised if it is sewage. Very gross. But there's a constant suck of air coming from behind me, blowing this way. So I'm not concerned about becoming suffocated by obnoxious gases. If it smelled like this and this tunnel was, say, a couple miles, I'm not gonna do that without my gas detector. I do have a gas detector, not on me. Did not bring it out on this trip. Since this is extremely rare, I don't think I've ever gone in a system where it would actually be required, since they're pretty hard to find. Turning on another light. Look at this pipe, that's got a big sharp dip in it. See how much water's sitting in there? The sound is kind of satisfying walking in this. Listen. I don't believe this is sewage. It very well could be. I believe it's a lot of dead fish, dead creatures, dead frogs that just didn't survive the dry times. And now it absolutely reeks. Not a great echo, honestly. If it wasn't for all the silt in the bottom of the pipe, that would have echoed a lot better. Because when you have stuff like this, it helps absorb and it collects the sound. It won't echo as if this was a nice smooth hallway like when it was first put in. It's got some iron oxidizing bacteria in here. Another pipe. Always scared of those because, like I said, most raccoons I've ever seen in my life dead on the side of the road. I assume it's because the Midwest has so many farms. It's literally, you can drive 1,000 miles. It's mostly just farmland. That was kind of cool to see. I've actually never seen an environment without any trees. Haven't been out of New England in my life, except for like Pennsylvania, which isn't too different. I gotta say, this was definitely worth the hike in here. Pretty cool. I can still smell it, but your nose adjusts pretty quickly. We do definitely have raccoon tracks in here. Definitely. Which is a good thing. At least these guys use the culverts so they won't get hit by a car. Now we're in a nice dry area. And as you can hear, much better echo. Because just like if you're ever out in a snowstorm, it's extremely quiet. Everything's muffled. It acts as insulation, just like that mud back there. Even the water here acts as insulation to an extent. If it was completely dry, we'd have one insane echo. Yeah, its echo in here is much better than down at the end of it. Another pipe, cautiously going by it. It's yet to happen, but I've definitely seen videos of people finding things like raccoons. I've never seen one attack. They always run the opposite way, or they just stay put. All right, we're about to come through another 45-degree joint, and then we'll be able to see our daylight right out. I'll show you guys a little bit of the drainage ditch. This area is pretty interesting. I actually really love the Midwest landscape. Grasslands filled with a lot of cattle. It's actually very relaxing out here. All right. Very dry part of the pipe. Did you guys notice that the graffiti doesn't go that far? It seems like the local kids are a little bit afraid to go down there, which is normal, but once you go through it once, I could run through this thing now with zero fear. Who knows what could be in there? When I entered this thing, I had no idea if it would be twice as long, woo, slippery, 10 times as long. I really had no idea. Or maybe it could have just gone underneath here into the shrubs where I didn't see it. Always cautious going into those things. Never know. Angry homeless person could be in there. Angry animal. Who knows? Look at this. Is that a leech? Yes, it is. Maybe. No, it might not be. It might just be a worm. But now that we got some cleaner water, definitely gonna wash my boots off. All these dead creatures are just contributing to the nasty smells inside of that pipe. There's another one there. What do you think? That kind of looks like a leech, right? I think they're leeches. Dead. And they're just contributing to the nasty stinks. Right next to us is BNSF's railroad tracks, which I made a video of yesterday night. Really cool. Those 4 freight trains, just coal. That's all it was. One behind the next. They were only spread like 5 minutes apart. Right here we got some pretty deep water. No frogs or anything. But I can definitely see why the leeches would be dead. This is baking in the sun. This water, I wouldn't be surprised in the summertime if it gets above 100 degrees, just baking here. Or it probably dries up when it's that hot. Kills the animals. When the water returns, it starts rotting them once it reintroduces moisture to them. Got a lot of crickets. Uh-oh. We got a BNSF train coming. Yeah, we do. Probably gonna blow his horn because I think there's a crossing coming up. This is exciting. What is it? Maybe more coal, probably empty coal cars, since it's coming in the opposite direction of last night. Oh, he's about to blow his horn. No, the coal's full. Why are the coal cars full? They just moved a bunch of them last night in the opposite direction. Or maybe he just pulled out of one of the many sidings. Up here is not another culvert, but it is a pretty interesting bridge. We're about to enter a swampy area of the drainage ditch. It has sunk a bunch, multiple inches of water, and it looks like there's some water grass growing in it. Looks kind of cool. Maybe a frost heave lifted up this section, allowing water to accumulate. Yep, those water plants are doing good in that crack. There are some very slippery sections of this that I almost keep falling on. Because the majority of this, there's no slippery spots because it's mostly dry. The very slippery spots must be the few places where it did not dry up. Wow, there's so many dead earthworms and leeches in here. Wow. No wonder this is all stinky and polluted. Check this out. Why do they put grates on the ends? Seems like it would just cause a blockage, probably to keep people out, but it's not going to be doing much of that. I could slip around those bars if I really wanted to get in there. Yeah, I could. Not a lot of headroom, but I could easily, maybe not this one, but I could slip around this one easily. Let's just see what's right here. Then we'll call it a day. More leeches. So the drainage canal continues here for quite a while. And it goes this way. There's another very long tunnel right up here. Oh, that's cool. We got a Canadian Pacific locomotive trailing. I don't think I've ever seen one of those before in real life. What do we got here? We got 5 culverts. Not as much headroom as before. It's pretty awesome. Can't tell if we can see the end or not. We'll go in a little bit. Turn one of the camera lights on. Hopefully this is not any longer than that other one, because this is gonna get sore very fast. Oh, a dump truck just went by. If you saw that up on top, it made plumes of black smoke, and this tunnel just sucked it in, because it also has a current coming from the exit. Oh, we're going through. I can already see the end. Turn on one more camera light. Oh no, that is not the end. That looks to be maybe a storm drain. This is quite the workout. You burn a lot more energy walking like this. Much quicker, smaller steps. Because you can't get all the steps in. Oh, that's scary. Cannot see the end of it. Now everyone, this is the place I would never explore if there was rain in the forecast. Because this is the kind of place that gets more frequent flash flooding. Alright, we're underneath the storm drain somewhere. I'm gonna turn my headlamp because I can see further with it. Wow, there's no end. This would be a good place to bring a really short bicycle. Hear that noise? Another train's coming. We're gonna go back outside. This is actually going to become very painful if I continue anymore. There was one culvert pipe I explored a couple years back where it wasn't even this high. Oh, that's loud. Well, anyways, the one I explored a few years ago was like maybe a foot or two shorter than this. It took me 40 minutes to go through it because I was crawling. I was sore for about a week. I'm just here today checking out what type of drainage systems they have around here. They are considerably different and meant for very high flow. My legs are already hurting. I haven't been in here very long either. Oh, the exhaust from the train is getting sucked in here. That's no good. So, tell me in the comments what you guys think. Do you like this type of video? Just exploring with me? No cuts or edits, just exploring. Usually these videos I'll put on my other channel since they're not very exciting. A lot of birds around here. I would love to live in this type of area. Heavy train traffic, which is pretty exciting. They line them up just one after another in this area. Now I wonder, is this the same train we just saw? Did it stop and start backing up? Once the engine shows up, I'm gonna have to compare the numbers on the engine locomotive. This might be the same one. They might just be parking it here, getting it ready to go out east. Although, I can't see that this one's full. This one might be empty. Let's get back on the other side. We'll see that locomotive in a minute. The train definitely switched tracks. Look at this, someone else was exploring in here when it was still wet. Was it one of the construction workers or just an explorer? I'm gonna walk up out of the water. Much less slippery. How big is this drainage ditch? That goes on forever too, but it's all above ground. So the reason that they chose more culverts and shorter ones up there is because in order to put in giant culverts like we walked in at first, it would just take too much height. You'd have to have a giant hump to drive over in those parking lots and roads. And if you dug it deeper, you'd have to dig this entire trench deeper, or it would just fill with silt. It would take a lot of current for it not to become full of silt, and in low flow times it would accumulate there and harden, making it almost impossible for the low flow times or the high flow times to take it away. Alright, this is definitely not the same train. This train is full of empty cars, and there's only one locomotive on this end. But drainage systems like this, that's what I'm seeking. I'm trying to find some of them on this trip out west. As soon as I was done with work this year, I started moving out west because it's actually much warmer here, good for filming. Taking a month off, doing a little bit of traveling, hoping to find more very large drainage systems that I'll be able to walk in. Like the one down here, I'm hoping to find things like that that go considerably further. But not like this back-breaking one down there either. Hope today's video was interesting. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.